Good morning and a happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Morning Wealth. Three things that we will talk about: stock market action from last Friday, FX roundup of last week, and what we can expect in the week ahead. US stocks climbed on Friday, ending the week with gains as investors brushed off worries about the fresh wave of the infections and its impact on the economic recovery. The Dow advanced about 1.4%. The blue chip index got off to a wobbly start, briefly turning negative after the opening bell, but rebounded and rallied into the close. The S&P was also up about 1%. Nasdaq was up about 0.7%, which is a fresh record for the tech-heavy index. All three indexes were positive for the second consecutive week, even as new coronavirus cases in the US are repeatedly hitting fresh records. Financials were the S&P 500's best performers on Friday, rising about 3.5%, in a sign that risk-seeking investors were snapping up economically sensitive stocks as well. Among the largest banks, Citigroup rallied the most, with its share price actually jumping by about 6.5%. Energy stocks also outperformed, boosted by an uptick in oil prices. US crude futures rose about 2.3% to settle at 40.55. Technology and healthcare stocks in the S&P, which have performed very strong this year, were the only sectors to close in the negative. This is what happened on Friday. BioNTech, a German biotech firm, has joined with Pfizer to develop a coronavirus vaccine. That rallied after the chief executive told Wall Street Journal that early data of its vaccine was promising and it could seek regulatory approval by the end of the year. So the ADRs climbed about 7.2%. In China, a streak of stock market gains ended on Friday. It had risen about 16.5% over 8 trading sessions, the biggest 8-day percentage gain since March 2008. Perhaps seeking to avoid a repeat of the stock market bubble and bust of 2015, Chinese authorities have signaled concerns about overshooting, with a state-run financial newspaper stressing the importance of long-term investment. On the FX side, surging US COVID-19 cases finally caught up with the greenback last week. Dollar-yen broke support on Friday, with the US dollar trading lower against most of the major currencies. Aside from the Japanese yen and the New Zealand dollar, euro and sterling benefited the most from the US dollar weakness. US producer prices unexpectedly declined in June, contributing to the sell-off in the dollar. No major US economic reports were released last week, but this week is jam-packed. We have the retail sales and we have consumer sentiment reports coming through, along with the Federal Reserve's Beige Book. Retail sales should be stronger because reopenings continued in June, but the manufacturing and consumer sentiment numbers could be weaker as they reflect the impact of tighter restrictions on business activity. Looking ahead for the week, a raft of central banks are expected to hit the pause this week as they assess the effect of the earlier efforts. Japan will probably keep policy levers steady on Wednesday while revising GDP and inflation projections. The ECB is set to hold on Thursday, but may tweak the cash deposit rules to help lenders cope with negative rates, is what some Bloomberg Economics is predicting. Earnings season is back, and for the US banks is bound to be ugly. The first quarter's tough trends, including surging loan loss provisions, and slumping consumer demand, probably only intensified in Q2. On the plus side, combined stock and bond trading revenue at the 5 biggest lenders may have jumped about 31% on the year, is what some estimates are showing. Citi, JP Morgan and Wells Fargo are up first, reporting before the US Open on Tuesday. Goldman and BNY are up in the midweek, followed by Bank of America and Morgan Stanley. But other than the financials, we'll also be looking for Johnson & Johnson, Netflix, TSMC and United Health to offer their results. China GDP on Thursday will offer the first broad view of the post-lockdown rebound. Consensus is for a return to expansion in the second quarter after a historic 6.8% drop in the first. That's your update. Stay safe and healthy, everyone, and have a wonderful week ahead.